Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. How we feeling? Good, good. Shabbat shalom out there. How we feel? I hope y'all doing well. We gonna get into this children's lessons today, and first we're gonna start with the Ten Commandments, followed by today's topic. We still going into the Kingdom series. Today we're gonna talk about Zimri, King Zimri from the Northern Kingdom. All right, but first we're gonna jump off into this Ten Commandments. How was our week though? It was good. She got a thumb up. It was good. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Somebody is here. Shabbat shalom. All right, let's do these 10 commandments, y'all. All right, you shall have no other gods before me. All right, what can be considered other gods? Money. TV. Well, we ain't there yet, but yeah, you're right. TV. Yeah, they got that. That should be over here. TV. What else? You said what? He already said money. Anna said money. Video games. What else? Name something that's not on the poster. Cars. A person. Yourself. Anna. House. Anything that you love more than the Most High, that you put effort into serving more than the Most High, right, can be considered another God. Statue, especially that, which leads me to the next one. You shall not make for yourself an idol. All right, you should not make for yourself an idol. All right, and as you can see, it's got the statue here. You know of any statues that people may worship? What's that? The what? The cat that's in the nail salon. You seen people worship that? Oh wow. I don't go to the nail salon, so I don't. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely idolatry. Yeah. Worshiping basketball and basketball player, yeah, definitely. LeBron James' idol is Michael Jordan. He idols Michael Jordan? Yeah, that's idolatry too. We specifically talking about that fits along with this right here. We specifically talking about, like a man-made statue. Like, of any that we. Who? But he don't what? Oh, he don't praise him. Yeah. Yeah. More like, what a Buddha statue is, right? That a Buddha statue, somebody bowing down to it. That's a more along the lines of what I'm talking about. So, like, Buddhism is a religion, and they got a statue that they worship, and it's an Eastern religion, and it's a statue that they worship, and it's attached to their religion. You know what I mean? And it's an idol. Or you got like the Kaaba stone in Islam. You know what I mean? They go over to the Middle East to worship this thing. Those is along the lines I was talking about. But anything that you carve that's man-made and you bow down and submit yourself to is definitely considered an idol, a carved image. All right? That's good, though. Let's move it along. You shall not misuse the name of Yahuwah your Elohim. How can you misuse the Most High's name, Daquan? His vows? A vow that, explain that.
You in the traffic jam and somebody cut you off and they.
No. You seeing that right here. Stop being deceitful. Come on. You know better than this. I told you that's not what that is. Me and you talk. I'm going to get on you more than them. All right? No. What you got?
When you're friends with somebody and you're telling a joke and then they swear that they do it.
And they actually did it, right? That's what I'm talking about right there. That. All right? We're talking about making a vow in Yah's name and you not upholding that vow, or you swearing in his name and it's not, and you not, and it's not true. The thing that you swear, like if you swear that something is true, that's what BJ just described. So if you swear something is true and it's not, that's the misusage of Yah's name, okay? Because you're swearing in his name something falsely is what I'm talking. That's what that's talking about. All right, come on, man. Don't do that. Me and you know better than that. You know better. All right. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. How can we keep the Sabbath day holy? Well, nah. We'll go with a nah.
Reading the Bible.
Reading the Bible. What else? Look.
Not doing things that you're not supposed to do on the Sabbath.
Like what?
Like playing basketball or work
Right. You ain't supposed to work on the Sabbath, right?
or buy something.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, that's yeah. What else?
Watch VeggieTales.
You can watch VeggieTales. So those, you name some things that you shouldn't do, which is still keeping the Sabbath holy. That's right. But you naming some things that we can do, like watching VeggieTales. We can watch certain shows that pertain to the scriptures, right? The stories in the Bible. We can do that. We can read our Bible. We can rest, right? We can come congregate, which is one of the most important things, is to come and congregate, right? Because it's supposed to be a solemn assembly, a holy convocation, right? So, yeah, the Sabbath, yeah, that's how you keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your father and your mother so that you may live long in the land Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. All right, even though we're not in the land, but how can we honor our father and mother?
Listen to the instructions.
By listening to their instructions, right? What else? What nah?
Doing something for them.
Say that again?
Doing something for them.
Yeah, of course. Doing something for them. What else?
When have integrity when you're not home and you're supposed to do something that you're supposed to do. Have integrity to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So definitely we can give them gifts, you know what I mean? The things that we can keep them with a good name, you know what I mean? Like when they teach us things and we go out and practice those things amongst people, we keep them with a good name. We make them look good. You know, you go to school and you be on your best behavior. That looks good on your parents' behalf because they taught you to be on your best behavior, right? So that's keeping your parents with a good name. How about that? All right. You shall not murder. What is murder? Go to nah. Let's go to nah. Let's see. Nah. To kill somebody on purpose, yeah. Purposeful killing. That's exactly what it is, right? What if somebody was to try to rob you and you end up killing them? Is that murder? That's defending yourself, right? Right? All right. You should not commit adultery. What is adultery for the man? No, Daquan. What is adultery for the man?
A man divorces his old wife for no reason and gets a new wife.
Right.
Committed adultery.
Adultery. Okay. No, I'm looking at. But what else? You got? What you got?
Woman
Say that again.
or a woman.
For a woman, yeah. What is adultery? That's good, Daquan, too, by the way. That's good.
When she cheats or lies to go see another man and gets married to him but doesn't tell her husband.
So when she steps out and when she goes and be with another man, sexually, and while she's married to her husband, that is adultery on her behalf. But it's also adultery on the single man's behalf too. I got to start pointing that out, because she's married, but she goes and be with a single man, and so this single man also commits adultery because they both came together and formed an unrighteous union. You see what I'm saying? When it wasn't, she actually belonged to another man. So that's also adultery for the man too. If a man is single and he gets with a married woman, that is adultery. If a man is married and divorces his wife without the cause of fornication and marries another woman, that is adultery for a man. So those two things, all right? Just want to be clear. We don't talk about the other one all the time, so that's why I had to do that. Yeah.
It's a guy on YouTube who does videos exactly like that.
Yeah, where they'll set. I think I know who you're talking about. I seen that. Huh? I think so. I don't know the name, but I know it's like a thing where he be setting, like, people may have a hunch that their spouse is cheating, and yeah, and they catch people up and stuff like that. Yeah. 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 That's pretty good. I've seen that before. You should not steal. You shall not steal. Is it okay to steal if you're homeless? No, it's not. Why?
Because if you steal, that's breaking one commandment from the two. And yeah, you should just ask before you do. And they might say yes, but if they say no, then you can try again from a different store.
Absolutely. Yep. Sure can. Right here, we don't know her financial status, but if she was poor, there's no exception to this. She can't, the law does not say you should not steal except if you're poor. You know what I mean? No, if you're poor, you should ask, just like you said, right? You should not give false testimony against your neighbor. You should not give false testimony against your neighbor. All right, how can we, what does the word neighbor mean? The word neighbor. Family, right? Regardless of the breakdown, it means family. It means family, right? So in this situation, what they'd showing is next door neighbors. It's not necessarily talking about that, even though it can be that. It's talking more about, when you look in the Bible, it's talking more about family, all right? A neighbor of any sort, whether it's your brother, if you brother and sister, if you mother and son, daughter and father, you know what I mean? Those are considered neighbors according to the Bible. An example would be David and Absalom. David was Absalom's father, but David was told once he committed adultery that his neighbor would lay with his wife. His neighbor would lay with his wife and stuff like that. So that would, even though that's adultery, but that was prophesied to him because of the sin that he committed. So his neighbor in that sense was his son Absalom. All right, and in this case, you have a situation where somebody's bearing false witness. You have the owner of the house here. You have this person that hit a ball through this window and is blaming it on this guy here. All right, and he's bearing false witness. He actually did it. All right, so that's what bearing false witness is. You shall not covet anything that belongs to your neighbor.
Stealing from your neighbor if they have something better or something that's exactly like yours, but theirs is better.
It can lead to stealing, but coveting, lusting,
Or robbing or killing somebody or killing your neighbor.
it can lead to those things, yeah. But we're talking about coveting. What does covet mean, Daquan?
Coveting means lusting after someone's possession.
Lusting after someone's possessions. Lusting after someone's possessions. All right, lusting after someone's possessions to the point where it's going to lead you to go and steal that person's possessions or go and do something by breaking another one of these commandments in order to obtain those possessions, right? Example, King Ahab wanted Nabal, a man that was just a regular man, righteous man in Israel. He wanted his vineyard. Nabal did not want to give him his vineyard, but King Ahab was upset, and so his wife actually led the charge. Jezebel led the charge in going and stealing this vineyard, and the way they did it was by killing Nabal. They bared false witness on his name and said that he did something, and then they had him stoned, and then they took his vineyard by force. So see what it did? He lusted after the vineyard, then they created this plot or this plan to steal his vineyard. You see that? So that's so it leads you to do other things, and see, if you don't control that spirit, it'll cause you to sin. So instead, what we should do so we don't covet is when we like something, it's all right to admire something and like something, but it's when it's leading you to go and want to go and steal somebody's possessions. That's when it becomes wrong, and we have to shut it down. We have to remember these commandments here, all right? Because ultimately, somebody having a possession and you wanting their possessions, if you go after it, the worst thing you do out of these 10 commandments, which all of them is bad to break, but you commit idolatry, because that thing became so important to you, it became more important than the Most High, right? All right, so we're going to, let's get off into the books of the Bible. We're going to breeze through that, and then we're going to get into today's topic. Let me do this real quick. All right, so we got different sections of the Bible. We deal with the 66. We got the law, we got the history, we got poetry, we got the major prophets, minor prophets, gospels, history, epistles to the churches. What is an epistle? Y'all know what an epistle is? What is an epistle? A letter. Letter to churches, letters to friends, which was people doing work in the church, and general letters to different people from different people. So, and those letters was all dispersed and sent to churches. Okay, so let's deal with the law first. What is the 5 books of the law? Anybody know what? You let BJ go first, and then if you don't know, you forgot. You raised your hand and you got. You know what the 5 books of the okay, Daquan.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
Yep. So Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is the 5 books of the law. It's the 5 books of the law, okay? All right, so we got the history books. Let's see. We got Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. So those are like the history books of the Bible, and these cover, so Joshua, we know who Joshua was. Joshua was the person that took over after Moses, right? Moses died. Joshua led the children of Israel into the land of Canaan, which became Israel. Judges, it talks about the period where there was a lot of judges. You got 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel. All right, Samuel was a prophet and a judge also, but he was responsible for bringing in the first king, and that was King David. Okay. You got 1 Kings and 2 Kings. You know the different kings, which we're gonna go into one today. We're gonna go into Zimri. He's a Northern Kingdom Israelite. He's of the Northern Kingdom in Israel. You have 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, both history. All of those are history books. Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. All right, focusing on the Second Temple period. Okay. Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon all focus on the poet. Those are the writings or the poetry, right? You have Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel, major prophets. Those are considered the major prophets. You have Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, minor prophets. All right. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. You got those are the Gospels. All right. So we're doing New Testament now. Those are the 4 Gospels. You have Acts is the only New Testament history book. All right. And then you have the epistles to churches, the Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, and Revelation are all general letters or epistles, okay? All right? So those are the different parts of the Bible. You know, you got the law, history, poetry, major prophets, minor prophets, Gospels. All right, this is the start of the New Testament. History, epistles to churches, epistles to friends, and general epistles, okay? All right. And finally, we're going to go into today's topic. And we'll wrap it up. Do y'all need a Bible? Nope. You need a Bible? Good. Okay. Here, yeah, sure. Yeah, I forgot that was over there. You got another one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You need a Bible? You good? Okay. Here, we're gonna go to 1 Kings 16 and verse 9. 1 Kings 16 and verse 9. First Kings 16, verse 9. Yeah. Yes. Yes, we starting there. Yeah. All right, so we there. Are we there? Okay. 1 Kings chapter 16 and verse 9, and then we're going to wrap it up. All right, so we talking about King Zimri. He is a king in the north. All right, he's a northern kingdom Israelite. All right, he reigned literally for 7 days. He reigned for 7 days, for a whole week, and then he got killed. That wasn't long. It was his wickedness, right? So we gonna see. Let's see. Yeah, at least that, right? He reigned for 7 days. All right, 1 Kings 16 and verse 9. And his servant, so remember last week we talked about King Elah. Zimri was his servant. As a matter of fact, start at verse 8. It says, in the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Elah, the son of Baasha, to reign over Israel in Tirzah 2 years. And his servant Zimri, captain of half his chariots, conspired against him, as he was in Tirzah, drinking himself drunk in the house of Arzah, steward of his house in Tirzah. And Zimri went in and smote him and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. So Zimri went and killed King Elah. All right. Remember, the kings in Israel were very evil. So they was getting killed because of their wickedness, because they was sinning. They was breaking Yah's laws. And so they wasn't reigning very long. Like even Elah, he only reigned for 2 years. Okay? So Zimri killed him. Verse 11, and it came to pass when he began to reign, as soon as he sat on his throne, that he slew all the house of Baasha. Talking about Zimri, he slew all the house of Baasha. He left him not one that pisseth against the wall, neither of his kinsfolks nor of his friends. Thus did Zimri destroy all the house of Baasha, according to the word of Yahuwah, which he spake against Baasha by Jehu the prophet. So the Most High has spoke against King Baasha because King Baasha started to sin. He said, I'm going to wipe your seed from out of the earth. And that's what he did. And Zimri was the person that brought that forth. He ended up killing him, right? For all the sins of Baasha and the sins of Elah, his son, by which they sinned and by which they made Israel to sin, and provoking Yahuwah Elohim of Israel to anger with their vanities. Now go down to verse 15. And in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, did Zimri reign 7 days in Tirzah. And the people were encamped against Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines. And the people that were encamped heard say, Zimri hath conspired, and hath also slain the king. Therefore all Israel made Omri, the captain of the host, king over Israel that day in the camp. And Omri went up from Gibbethon, and all Israel with him, and they besieged Tirzah. So the children of Israel, though they was under King Zimri, they made Omri their king. And Omri, even though they were serving under Omri, they didn't respect him. Right? So, and it says, and it came to pass, when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the palace of the king's house and burnt the king's house over him with fire and died. So he killed himself in a fire. So, and this is only 7 days of him reigning. He reigned for 7 days, and he killed himself in a fire. Right? And for his sins, this verse 19, for his sins which he sinned in doing evil in the sight of Yahuwah, in walking in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin, which he did to make Israel to sin. All right, so who is Zimri?
He is the Lord King.
Okay. All right, what did he do? Yeah, but who was the king at the time when he was a servant though? Who? Yeah, I'm talking about the king that reigned for 7 days. Who was he a servant to? Zimri is his name. Close. Not quite. Who? Nope. Who?
King. What's his name? With the A?
No. Who? No.
His name starts with Omari?
Yes, Omri. King Omri. No, Omri, no. Omri was his servant. No, I'm sorry. Omri was his servant. No, he was a Zimri, who was he servant to? Huh? That's the Southern Kingdom king. Huh? Who we talked about last week? Y'all remember?
How the Northern King.
We talked about the Northern King. This is a Northern Kingdom king too.
How Josh took over from Moses.
No, that's a different time period. That's a different time period. Huh? Eli. So King Eli. King Eli, Zimri was the servant to King Eli. Yeah, Zimri was the servant to King Eli. Omri took over after Zimri killed himself in the fire. But Eli was the king, and Zimri was his servant. He was the captain of his host, of his army. All right, so that's who Zimri was. Zimri reigned for 7 days. He didn't reign long at all. All right. Who was King Eli? Y'all remember who King Eli is?
Wasn't he the northern, one of the northern kings?
Yeah, he was a Northern Kingdom king. Yeah. He was a Northern Kingdom king. Huh? No. Tirzah is where they reigned, where I think that was a city that was in the Northern Kingdom. That's a kingdom. That's Tirzah. He was the son of Baasha. Yeah. Eli was the son of Baasha. Good job. Yeah. So Baasha, because he started sinning, Baasha was told by the Most High that he would, I raised you up in his stead to reign, and you sinned. So I'm going to treat you like I treated Jeroboam's house, which he wiped out. He used Baasha to wipe out Jeroboam's whole house. And when I say whole house, I'm talking about all his sons, so they wouldn't reign as a king. Then Baasha started to sin. So Baasha got the same treatment. And Eli happened to be the last son to reign that was a descendant from Baasha. He was a son of Baasha. He got killed, and he got killed by Zimri. So when Zimri killed him, Zimri reigned for 7 days. The Philistines started to attack, and he went into his house and killed himself with a fire. With a house burnt, he set his house on fire and died in his own house. And then the children of Israel chose Omri to be the king. Now, Omri was servant under Zimri. All right, we got our 3 hallelujahs. Let's make them count. Come on. Got our 3 hallelujahs. Oh, hold on. You want to count? Okay, hold on. You can count. I just want to make sure everybody ready. Why are you trying to sneak away? Come here. Don't try to sneak away. Don't try to sneak. Get over here. Mm-hmm. Funny. Oh. All right. On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. We got 2 more. He'll be fine. He's going to have to wake up anyway.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Yeah. All right. Make the last one better than the first 2, even though they was good. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Good job, y'all. Good job. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. We just wrapped up the children's lesson. You can put it up there. We just wrapped up the children's lesson. We will be back shortly with praise and worship, followed by today's main lesson. Y'all hope y'all have a good Sabbath. Shalom.